Get strong.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Magic Gathering Commander deck profile. Now today, this is going to be my Saheeli Radiant Creator deck profile. I've had this deck since the release of Evil Drift. I've been playing it, I've been taking cards out, putting cards in. I think that for a nice casual fun deck, this is great. Obviously, you can put other cards in if you want to feel a bit more competitive, but as a casual deck, this is great. So, those who don't know, Saheeli is a one-color green, blue, and red commander. It is a 4-drop 4/4 with, when you cast a artifact or an artificer, you get an energy. Now, you guys know me, I do enjoy energy-based decks. I was really excited for the energy Fallout one, but unfortunately that couldn't keep up with the amount of energy it could produce. The deck ended up using more energies than it could create. As a bit sad, but that's why when MH3 came out, I just took out tons of bad cards and popped really good energy cards in, and the deck was really strong. I didn't have to do that much with this deck, to be perfectly honest, because there are a lot of good energy cards that got printed in here, plus a good amount of new ones that gave you like double the amount of energies. It's great. And since Evil Drift only had 2 commanders, it was either this or the zombie one. Wasn't a huge fan about zombies, but playing Saheeli though, energy, oh, nice. So yeah, we'll get straight into the profile. So here we are, Saheeli Radiant Creator, 4-drop 4/4. So, also I forgot to mention that at the beginning of your combat you may pay 3 energy, and if you do, you can create a copy of target permanent, except it becomes a 5/5 with haste. So for example, you have a 1/1 Thopter. I'll pay 3 energies beginning my combat. I'll make a token copy of that Thopter, so it's now a 5/5 flying Thopter. That's kind of like the best thing I want to do with Saheeli, and that is like the main token you make in this deck are Thopters. But yeah, really good for 4-drop 4/4. Also, I love the fact that they make these commanders now in the full arts like this. I love it. And they've also done it with the secondary commanders too, unlike from the Junction. But yeah, we shall start with the ETB Get Energy. So, Servant of the Conduit. ETB Get 2 energy. We also tap her, pay an energy, and add 1 mana of any color, so she is an energy mana dog. Pima, Ether Seer. ETB, get an amount of energy equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So if this is your only creature by turn 4, probably isn't, but if it is, you get 3 energy because her power is free. Ethertide Whale. ETB gets 6 energies, pay 4, return it to your hand. I don't actually do this. Most of the time I bounce it back. I blink it in and out again. I don't really pay the 4 to return the hand. That seems a bit wasteful. Probably one of the best energy guys in the deck is Rogue Refiner. ETBs, you draw a card and get 2 energy. So already it's better than this. For the extra like blue, you can also draw a card. This card is busted, and most of the time this is my main guy I will create with Saheeli, because yeah, pay 3, get 2, draw a card, so you're only getting 1, you're paying 1 energy to draw a card. I think that's really good. Next is a Territorial Hellkite. Now, it is a 6-drop 6/5. When it enters, you get 2 energies. Then you can pay an amount of energies and deal damage to each other creature. He itself is a board wipe, but I never really use him as a board wipe. He is just a 6 flying haste guy in the air. Next, Not Whirler Rogue, you're the other one. ETB, get 3 energies. You can pay 3 energies and create a 1/1 Thopter. That though, like all the other pays, I think there's like one that has to be done in Sorcery Seed. Most of them are instant speed, so you can create a Thopter during your opponent's end phases. Next, this card has both an ETB and an attack trigger. It's the Aetherwind Basker. A 7-drop 7/7 with trample. When this creature enters or attacks, get an amount of energy equal to the number of creatures you control. So if I have 6 creatures and then cast this, I get a total of 7 because this is my 7th. Also, when I attack, I then get 7, or even more by that point. It does so you can pay an energy and give it a 1/1 counter. You can do that as many times as not 1/1 counter, a +1/+1 blanket effect until the end of turn. So you can actually make this bigger if it's either blocked or gets unblocked. Next is Lightning Runner. Lightning Runner is just one of those attacks, get 2 energies, pay 8, gain additional combat. These together are a somewhat infaloop. If you have the right amount of energy, this is an infaloop. It's nice that they put an infaloop into a commander deck, commander precon. But yeah, pretty good. But I don't work with Magic. But yeah, it seems pretty dumb. Next we go to Landfall. I do have 2 Landfalls. For example, I popped a Royal Cartographer from MH3. Landfall, get energy. You can pay, so you can tap her, pay 6, draw 3 cards. And I also have Nissa, the World Speaker. To be fair, I took this out for the green one that creates a 6/6 beast, just because I think I prefer the option of drawing cards rather than having another guy on board. Right, this one's almost exactly the same, except Landfall, get 2 energies, plus I can pay 8, and rather than paying mana to cast cards, I can just pay 8 and cast them. This comes really handy if I have like a bunch load of energies. But yeah. Next, for the last 2 energy-based creatures, we have a Rampaging Ether Horde, a 5-drop 4/4 Trample Ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get an amount of energy equal to this creature's power. Then you may pay 1 or more energy, and if you do, put that many 1/1 counters. So next upkeep, you have 4 energies. You can then choose to, for example, pay 2 energies. Next upkeep, you have 6. This card is worth paying 5 mana for. This card is worth just by having it in the deck. So much energy if it lives. But it's just 2 mana. It is just 2 mana to pay the ward, so it can get easily just be gone. But it's still a really big trampler. For the last energy card, it is an Ether Quill Agent. Beginning of your upkeep, just like this, you gain 3 energies. This is though the only pay energy effect that is a sorcery speed, which is to return all other creatures to the owner's hands. I never really do that. I think the only pays I do is the Whirler Rogue. Things like these 3. I'm sorry, these 4. And sorry, no, 5. The Mana Dork, the Thopter, make it bigger, combat, draw, and pay 8, cast a spell. The other energies like the board wipe and the Returnal, I just don't do that. And now we go on to the guys that can create like Thopters. Whirler Rogue, ETB, you create 2 Thopters and you tap 2 untap, 2 target creature can't be blocked. Pi and Kieran, same thing, it creates 2 Thopters on ETB. But you can pay 3, sack an artifact, and deal 2 damage to any target. I've won games using this. It's actually really cool. Now we have Master Thopterus. Whenever you cast an artifact, create a Thopter, you can pay 2 mana, sack 2 artifacts, draw a card. Next we have Thopter Assembly. I was really happy when I say that, no, I was really sad that the deck did not have a Thopter Assembly. So I took an artifact guy out that didn't seem so good, and I popped in a Thopter Assembly because this card is busted. I say busted. Beginning of the upkeep, if you don't control another Thopter, this returns to the hand, and then you spell 5 Thopters. Which just means that I can make one of them a fat 5/5. Then we have Saheeli. Saheeli actually creates a copy of another target creature or artifact. And just like Saheeli, except it does gain haste, and it does sack itself at the beginning of the next end step, but it doesn't become a 5/5 or anything. That's the only difference between this and the Saheeli. Then we have Ardrix and Nev, Train Casters. This is a Parallelize on Lakes. If you create one more, you create twice that many instead. The last, for like token wise, we have a Stride Hanger Automaton. Thopters you control get +1/+1. If one or more artifact tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional 1/1 colorless Thopter creature with flying are created instead. So if I create a Servo, I create a Thopter. If I create a Thopter, I create another Thopter. Just like when this pops back to my hand to create 5 Thopters, I'll get a grand total of 6 Thopters. This deck is heavily Thopter based. I will say now, this deck is heavily Thopter based. So I guess now we go to the generic kind of creatures. A Reckless Fireweaver, because it's a Impact Tremors for artifacts. Arkham Daggerson, which is a really strong guy that can, you tap him, you sack a artifact creature to then search your library for a non-artifact creature and pop it onto the battlefield. So, for example, sack a Servo, put in a Darksteel Forge. Yeah, then now I just have a Darksteel Forge. I have a 9 mana card that says all my artifacts have indestructible. Yeah. The card is really dumb. It's only like, I think it's like £5 and below, so you don't have one and you want artifacts, and you're in blue, definitely grab them. Next, we have a Duretti Rocketeer Engineer. Its power is equal to the greatest mana value of an artifact you control. Whenever he attacks, or enters, sorry, you can choose target artifact card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return the chosen card to the battlefield. So yeah, if you do have an important artifact in your bin, just sack one of your tokens to then bring the artifact back from the bin. It's really good, especially since you can like go through your combat, create a token with Saheeli, main phase 2, cast him, sacrifice the token you made, at least you gain value from the token. And yeah, return an artifact from your bin. Really, really nice. Next, we have Master Transmuter. Simple enough. Pay a blue, tap, return an artifact you control to the hand, and then you can put an artifact from your hand onto the battlefield. I run this in every blue artifact deck I have, because for 1 mana, sure, I'll pull a Darksteel Forge. I'm using Darksteel Forge as an example because it's a 9-drop altogether. Combustible Gearhulk. This is still in here because it either gives me draw or deals damage to an opponent. I actually debated on keeping this card in. But after playing the deck with him in, it gives me a lot of value, either a 3/3 beast that can block, 3 life or draw card. Most of the time I am in fact drawing a card, but still, this card is worth keeping in. The last 3 creatures is Omnithopter Paradise for Mana Dork, Solemn Sickle Lacrum because being able to pull in a land on ETB, well, basic land ETB good, and when it dies draw a card, so it is a perfect target for Saheeli because when that token dies, you get to draw a card. Well, you create a token of this, ETB, search deck for basic land, put it back for tapped, and then in the end phase when it dies, just draw a card. And speak about dying, Triplicate Titan. When it dies, you spit out 3 3/3s, one of them with flying, one with vigilance, and one of them with haste. And it is factor 9 drop 9/9, so yeah. But most of the time you aren't really casting this, you're pulling it in with other cards. That is it for creatures. There are a total of 28 creatures in the deck. So now we go to Planeswalker. There is a single Planeswalker in this deck, and by far this has to be my favorite variant of this Planeswalker. It's in fact a Saheeli Planeswalker. Saheeli, Sublime Artificer. This is by far my favorite Saheeli Planeswalker. The only downside, it doesn't have a plus. For those who don't know what this card does, you'll understand why. Whenever you cast, this is a flat out, it does it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 servo. So whenever you cast an artifact or any one of your instant sorceries or enchantments, create a servo. Neg 2, target artifact you control becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature you control till the end of the turn. It is an artifact in addition to its other types. So yeah, the only unfortunate about this card is you can only do that twice because it has no +1 effect. You can though, if you want to, put a bunch of other proliferate cards in the deck to help you proliferate your counters and this too. So you can put like Evolution Stage in here if you really want to. But yeah, Saheeli, Sublime Artificer, my favorite Saheeli Planeswalker. Now we go to artifacts, and I think we'll start off with the if I can word the energy token ones. So we have an Etheric Amplifier. It's a mana rock, or you can pay 4, tap it to activate one of these effects. You can only do that as a sorcery though. So either doubling the amount counters on target opponent, or you're doubling the amount targets on you. So as always, I'm going to double the amount counters on myself. So say example, I start on 20, I double it to 40, and then double it to 60 if it stays on board. This card is nuts. Also, if you're running like a energy based deck, at least get one of these. These help a lot because most of the time these will just stay on here, and it's visible. They can see the 2. They can tell that I have like 20. Guess I use a Pokemon energy card because it fits. It's electric energy. It fits the theme, and I love it. If you guys know, in my Liberty Prime, I have a foil one of these. But yeah, a little one of these helps a lot. I know you can use them. There's a few that came out in like precons. Like you use one of these if it's easier. You can use one of these and it helps. Next is this module. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you get energy. Etherworked Marvel. Whenever a permanent you control is put into the graveyard, get energy. So all those tokens are stacking. Tokens are permanents that still go to the bin, and then they fizzle. So this still sees them go to bin to get energy. You can tap it, pay 6, look at the top 6 cards of your library, and you can cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. The rest go to the bottom of your library in a random order. This is by far the most important artifact card in the deck. In my opinion, it is the Aetherflux Conduit. Whenever you cast a spell, you get an amount of energy equal to the amount of mana spent to cast a spell. So if I cast a 6 mana spell, I get 6 energies. But for example, if Saheeli has died once, it's back to the command zone. It costs 2 cast mana for the command attacks, so you cast for 6. I still spent 6 mana on this 4 CMC commander, but this still sees me pay 6, so I get 6 energies, if that makes sense. Next is, it is in fact, the pre-con came with 2 vehicle cards. One of them I just took out because it seemed irrelevant. The other I actually popped it in. But I've never actually used it as a vehicle. I just used it as tap, get 2 energy. Or you tap, pay 2 energy, tap to a creature, or you pay 3, draw a card. Most of the time I am tapping this for 2 energy. That's the only purpose I think this has. I don't like vehicles, I think they're bum, even though in Ether Drift they made them semi-decent. Now, the last artifact that is energy related is an Generationum, or whatever you pronounce. When you get 1 or more energies, you gain an additional. So if I get 3 energies, I'll get an additional 1, so I have 4. You can tap it, draw a card, activate only you've paid or lost 4 or more energies this turn. There are only like a handful of cards that say lose energies. Most of the time you are paying. So that's an odd wording. But yeah, even if you paid like 4 energies during your opponent's turn, you can tap this and draw. It doesn't have to be your turn, which I think is really nice. And now we go on to the other artifacts. So Commander, we're running Commander, so obviously we're running the Soul Ring and the Arcane Signet. I love that they're making different artworks for Arcane Signet, Command Tower and Soul Ring for different commander decks. I do kind of want to grab all of them though, just because I think they're nice and cool. Then we're running 2 Talismans, Talisman Impulse, Talisman of Curiosity. Just because I like more mana. Now this card is amazing for this deck. Most people forget this card exists. It is a mirror box. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents I control, so with Saheeli, I can target and create another copy of another legendary creature. Each legendary creature you control gets +1/+1. Each non-token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each kind of creature you control with the same name as that one. Surely, yeah, this won't really affect my tokens. But this part won't really affect the tokens, this part will because it's still a legendary. So altogether, they are 6/6s. I use this in my Render Relentless because of Rat Colony. But this card is really good for stuff like that. Next, it's a card that got printed in the precon. We have Retrofit Foundry, which has only had a few reprints, which is kind of insane. You can pay 3 to untap this, or you can pay 2 tap, create a servo, or you can pay 1 tap, sack the servo for Thopter, or you can just tap, sack the Thopter for 4/4 construct. This card's only had like a few printings. Yeah. Next, we have a Panomonicon. It seems really nuts that this card was printed in the main set. It seems very dumb. Especially since, yeah, I'll gain more ETBs. Why not? ETBs sound good. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Ooh, that wasn't good. So I'm just trying to focus. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get with this camera. One day I'll invest in a better camera. But yeah, if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger additional time. So with that itself, really good. Especially even better when Conjurer's Closet is also printed in the same deck. Because yeah, it also helps with like cards like Duretti or any of my other ETBs. Because during the end phase, you may exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under your control. Next, we have actually got a Dragon Spark Reactor. When Dragon Spark enters, or when another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on Dragon Spark Reactor. Pay 4, sacrifice Dragon Spark. It deals damage equal to the number of charge counters to target player, and that much damage up to one target creature. So it can hit an opponent and a creature. So yeah, think about all the energies I'm getting, all the artifacts I'm just putting onto the battlefield, because it doesn't say cast, it just says enter. So already this is having a charge counter. It's just a cheeky little damage card that people keep an eye on just in case, and kind of baits out some like removal cards too. Next we have Bootlegger Stash, which works really well with Dragon Spark Reactor because you can tap a land, create a treasure. So yeah, tap 3 land, create 3 treasures, that's 3 more charge counters on this. Plus it's just mana that I can keep just stacking. So I have unspent mana during my turn, during my opponent's end phase. I'll just tap it, create a treasure, and I got additional piece of mana that are just chilling there for a bit. For the last artifact, it is Lightning Greaves, just so Saheeli doesn't really get targeted, or any other important creature doesn't get targeted. But yeah, that is it for the artifacts. Now we go on to the spells, so we'll start with instances. So the deck comes with 2 counter spells. It comes with Arcane Denial and Disallow. Removal is Reality Shift. It doesn't have Beast Within, but I've added a Beast Within just for more removal. Chaos Warp to remove a plopping card from the battlefield and hope they pull a land or something. 2 in the narrative for draw power. You draw a card and get 2 energies. That's a lot for 1 blue. And a Untimely Malfunction because I'm playing in a red deck. Why should I not run Untimely Malfunction? Like if they try to Beast Within one of my cards, I'll use this and target one of their cards. Untimely Malfunction is the cheap man's deflecting swat, and it's good. That's the only effect you really care about. Sure, you can destroy a target artifact or make 1 or 2 target creatures can't be blocked this turn, sure, but being able to change the target of a spell, yeah, really good. Next we have sorceries. So, Attune with Aether, search your library for basic land, put it into your hand, shuffle, get 2 energies. So it's 1 mana, search for a land, put it in your hand, get 2 energy. Explosive Vegetation, 4-drop, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield. So those are my mana ramps. Next, Fabricate, just so I can search for any artifact I want or / need for the time. 1 with Machine to draw cards equal to the greatest mana value among artifacts I control. Rickshaw's Expertise. This is actually the Commander Pie promo that I actually kind of like a lot. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, so it could just be draw 5 or Mailbox draw 6. That's if I target a token from Saheeli or anything else that's massive. You may cast a spell with mana value of 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. That is so good in just as a card itself. That's really good. In some decks I would prefer this rather than for Return of the Wild Speaker. In this deck I decided just to keep with this. And next I have a Steel spell, Confiscation Core. So choose an artifact or creature, you get 4 energies. Then you may pay an amount of energies equal to that permanent's mana value, and if you do, gain control of it. And this is a permanent steal. I permanently have this card now, it is mine. until you blow it up, for example. Now for the enchantments, there's only like 4 enchantments. 2 of them came in the pre-con, the other 2 I popped in. So, Arrow of Innovation. Whenever you cast a artifact or an artificer, you pay 1, and if you do, get 2 energies. Fopter Spy Network. Beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact, create a 1/1 Fopter. Whenever 1 or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Artificer's Class. The first artifact spell you cast costs 1 less. Or you can put it to level 2 and reveal the top card of your library until you reveal an artifact and put it into your hand. Then for level 3 you pay 6, and beginning of your end phase you can create a copy of create a token as a copy of target artifact you control. So yeah, I just keep making tokens of my artifact, guys. It's great. And last and surely, I'm running a bunch of tokens, so I am running a Parallel Lives. Double the amount of tokens you create. So it's like the Andrix. And now we go to land. There's a fat total of 36 land in this. There's in the precon there's originally like 38, but I felt that was far too much and I was just getting flooded with land in my hand, so I took 2 out. And I took all the bum ones out to add all the bear ones. So Commander, we're running a command tower and Power of Ancestry. There's still a bunch of humans in this. Still, so Power of Ancestry is still relevant. Because I am running energies, I am running the Ether Hub. With this land, ETBs get energy. Taps for colors, or you can tap it, pay energy, add 1 mana ready color. Spy of Innovation, taps for colors, or you can tap it, pay a life, and add 1 mana ready color. Activate only if you control an artifact. And then we have a Frontier. It comes in tapped by taps of 1 of any 3 of the colors, so it's fine. Next we have Vines, Glimmer, a Snarl, and the Frostboil Snarl too, just so I can just reveal like an island, for example, because they're both blue and they come in untapped. Sulphur Falls, Hinterland Harbor, and Rootbound Crag all come in untapped if I control any one of these cards, so either a mountain, island, or forest. I also have 3 of the damage, like if you use it for color, lose a life, where it damages you. So I run all 3 of them that I possibly can in the colors. I also run 2 Verges, the green red from Dustmourn and the red blue from Aetherdrift. I also run 2 of the artifact lands. They do come in tap, but they're still an artifact land, which still helps my artifact numbers. I'll move these up. For the last 3 kind of lands, we have Academy Ruins. This reprint is nuts. It used to be like £10, now it's like, I think it's like 5 now. Taps for colors, or you can pay 2, tap, and put an artifact from your bin on the top of your library. Yeah. Next, Reliquary Tower, just some maximum hand size, and a Wilderness and a Roving Wilds for some sacks. Basic lands though. 5 islands, because we're still blues. We are still little blue boys. 5 mountains. And 6 forests. This is majority green. This is for an artifact deck. Well, at least my build is a lot of green. So 5, 5, and 6. And they are in fact all Aetherdrift lands too, because it will annoy me if they aren't the same. It annoys me a lot if they're not the same colors. So yeah, that has been my Saheeli Radiant Creator deck profile. Obviously, I will leave a link into the description to the deck lists. They'll be on my Archdeck. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to get notified when I upload more videos. And don't worry, I do have more profiles in the works. I do have a deck from Tarkir that I'm working on, so stay tuned for that. That might be in a few weeks. This took me a bit longer because I wanted to try and get this deck, as I feel like I spent a lot of time on this deck because I really wanted it to make sure that I have enough energies to make the deck working, and at the moment it does perfect. And I built this for my pod 2, which is a nice friendly pod. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.